Imagine a world where history isn't just about dusty textbooks and forgotten dates, but a living, breathing tapestry woven with threads of forgotten knowledge and extraordinary ingenuity. This isn't a science fiction story or a fantastical dream, but an invitation to journey with us into the captivating realm of ancient mysteries. A world where the whispers of the past hold secrets that reshape our understanding of humanity's remarkable journey. We're about to dive deep into a collection of historical puzzles, uncovering 23 secrets buried in plain sight. Ancient artifacts with hidden functions that challenge everything we thought we knew about the capabilities of our ancestors. These aren't just relics, they are tangible paradoxes, objects that stand as silent witnesses to a forgotten brilliance, patiently waiting for us to unravel their true purpose. For centuries, these enigmatic objects have lingered in museums, overlooked in archaeological digs, or simply dismissed as curiosities, their profound significance masked by conventional interpretations. But what if these seemingly ordinary artifacts, from intricate mechanisms to colossal structures, were far more than they appeared? What if they were sophisticated tools, advanced instruments, or even pieces of forgotten technology that hint at civilizations far more developed than our current historical narratives suggest? The questions they raise are not just academic, they challenge the very timeline of human innovation, pushing us to reconsider the perceived limits of ancient minds. How could civilizations, supposedly lacking modern technology, craft items that defy our expectations, hinting at an understanding of engineering, astronomy, or even physics that modern science has only recently rediscovered? This is precisely what makes these artifacts so compelling. They force us to confront the possibility that the past holds keys to a technological and philosophical understanding that we are only now beginning to grasp. Today, we peel back the layers of time, not just to admire these ancient wonders, but to reveal the astonishing ingenuity of our ancestors and prompt us to question everything we thought we knew about their capabilities. This exploration won't just be a passive viewing experience. It's an invitation to become a detective of history, to ponder alongside us the profound insights these marvels offer about advanced civilizations that walked the earth long before us. Join us as we unlock the secrets of these hidden marvels, setting the stage for an extraordinary exploration of ancient technology and forgotten wisdom. Prepare to be amazed, to have your perceptions stretched, and to see the ancient world through a completely new lens as we delve into the unknown functions of these incredible, silent witnesses to human genius. This is more than just a list. It's an odyssey into the heart of humanity's enduring mystery, proving that sometimes the greatest secrets are found precisely where we least expect them, hidden in plain sight. Our journey into these hidden functions begins with perhaps the most astounding artifact ever recovered, the Antikythera Mechanism. Picture this, a complex, gear-driven device pulled from a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera in the year 1900. For decades, it sat largely unnoticed, a corroded lump of bronze and wood, initially mistaken for nothing more than a simple rock. Yet, like a chrysalis shedding its disguise, painstaking research, aided by advanced imaging technology, slowly revealed its true identity. This wasn't just any ancient relic, it was an ancient analog computer, a marvel of engineering dating back to between 150 and 100 BC. It stands as a testament to a technological prowess that completely rewrites our understanding of ancient capabilities. This incredible machine was far more than a rudimentary tool. It was meticulously designed to track astronomical positions with astonishing accuracy, Imagine a device that could predict solar and lunar eclipses, map the movements of the 5 known planets, and even calculate the precise timing of ancient athletic events like the Olympic Games. The sheer foresight and ingenuity required to conceive and construct such a device are almost unfathomable. It wasn't just a calendar, it was a cosmic calculator, a sophisticated instrument that encapsulated humanity's early attempts to understand and predict the intricate dance of the heavens. When you consider the tools available to the ancient Greeks, the precision of its 52 interlocking gears, some as thin as a human hair, is truly mind-boggling. Experts like Dr. Joe Marchant, a renowned science journalist and author, have extensively documented the Antikythera Mechanism's unprecedented complexity, arguing that its existence challenges the long-held belief that such technological sophistication was centuries away. Before its discovery, historians generally assumed that mechanical clocks and intricate gearing systems only emerged during the European Renaissance, more than 1,500 years later. The Antikythera Mechanism, with its differential gears and intricate clockwork, forces us to dramatically reconsider the perceived technological limitations of the Hellenistic period. It suggests a profound understanding of celestial mechanics, mathematics, and precision engineering that was far more advanced than any other known artifact from that era. The implications of this discovery are monumental. How could such an advanced device simply vanish from historical record for so long, only to be rediscovered by chance in the depths of the Aegean Sea? Its existence implies that similar, equally complex devices might have been more common than we realize, perhaps lost to time or decay. Was it a unique prototype, a singular flash of genius, or merely one example of a thriving tradition of sophisticated mechanical engineering that simply didn't survive the ravages of time and conflict? The Antikythera Mechanism opens up a tantalizing possibility that ancient civilizations possessed a level of scientific and engineering knowledge that we are only just beginning to comprehend, urging us to look beyond conventional narratives and unlock further secrets buried within forgotten artifacts. From the astonishing gears of the Antikythera Mechanism, we now shift our focus to another artifact that challenges our understanding of ancient technology, the Baghdad Battery. Imagine a small, unassuming clay jar, approximately 6 inches in height, unearthed near Baghdad in the year 1936 during a railway construction project. Inside this seemingly ordinary vessel, archaeologists discovered a copper cylinder, carefully sealed at the bottom with asphalt, and within that cylinder, an iron rod suspended in place. At first glance, it might have been dismissed as a mere storage container, perhaps for ancient scrolls or foodstuffs. But what if its function was far more revolutionary? Could this humble clay pot have been an ancient battery capable of generating electricity? This is precisely what archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig proposed shortly after its discovery. Koenig, who was then director of the Iraq Museum, observed parallels between this artifact and ancient electroplating techniques. He theorized that the jar, when filled with an acidic electrolyte like grape juice or vinegar, could have produced a small electrical current. His hypothesis sparked decades of debate and experimentation. While conventional history credits Alessandro Volta with the invention of the electric battery in the year 1800, the Baghdad Battery, if it truly functioned as such, would push back the timeline of electrical knowledge by over 2,000 years. The idea that ancient civilizations might have possessed an understanding of electricity is certainly provocative, and it leads us to wonder about the practical applications of such a device. One of the most compelling theories advanced by Koenig and others is its potential use for electroplating, Ancient texts describe a process where a thin layer of gold or silver was applied to other metals to create decorative or ceremonial objects. If the Baghdad Battery could generate enough current, it might have facilitated this delicate and intricate process, transforming the appearance of artifacts without requiring large amounts of precious metals. This would explain the exquisite, uniformly gilded items found in ancient Mesopotamia, which have long puzzled archaeologists, while the Baghdad Battery's exact function remains a subject of intense academic debate. Numerous modern experiments have successfully replicated its ability to produce small electrical currents. Researchers using various acidic solutions have demonstrated that the reconstructed devices can generate anywhere from 0.8 to 2 volts of electricity. This consistent replication, even with simple ingredients, lends significant weight to the theory that it was indeed an electrochemical cell. However, whether these currents were used for electroplating, medicinal purposes, or even some form of ritualistic shock therapy remains entirely speculative. The lack of explicit written records detailing its use means we are left to piece together the puzzle from the artifact itself and circumstantial evidence. So, could this seemingly simple clay jar signal a forgotten age of electrical knowledge? A hidden chapter in the history of science and technology? Its existence challenges the narrative that electricity was a much later invention, confined to the relatively recent past. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed an early electrical device, it suggests a level of sophistication and practical application of scientific principles that forces us to reconsider the ingenuity of ancient cultures. It stands as a profound enigma, urging us to look beyond immediate appearances and ponder the true extent of ancient technological prowess. Leaving the enigma of the Baghdad Battery, we now turn our gaze to another profound mystery, one etched in clay and shrouded in undeciphered symbols, the Phaistos Disc. Imagine a perfectly circular clay disc, approximately 6 inches in diameter, discovered in 1908 by Italian archaeologist Luigi Pernia during excavations at the Minoan Palace site of Feistos on the island of Crete. Its appearance alone is captivating. Both of its sides are densely covered with an intricate, spiraling arrangement of symbols pressed into the moist clay before firing. Unlike any other known writing system from the ancient world, these unique hieroglyphs have captivated and frustrated linguists, historians, and cryptographers for over a century. Despite extensive efforts and countless theories, the purpose and meaning of the Phaistos Disc remain one of archaeology's most enduring puzzles. Scholars have dedicated entire careers to cracking its code, proposing a bewildering array of interpretations. Some suggest it's a religious artifact, perhaps a prayer or an invocation to ancient deities. Others hypothesize it's a detailed administrative record, a list of goods, or even part of a complex ancient game. Still others, intrigued by its distinctive manufacturing method, have put forth the idea that it represents an early, sophisticated form of printing, a precursor to movable type. Each theory offers a tantalizing glimpse into its potential function, yet none has gained universal acceptance, leaving the disc's true nature shrouded in an almost impenetrable veil of mystery. What makes the Phaistos Disc particularly unique, and indeed a significant challenge to decipherment, is the singular nature of its inscriptions. There are 45 distinct signs, or types, on the disc, and these signs appear a total of 241 times in various combinations. What's truly remarkable is that these symbols were not carved or drawn by hand, but appear to have been individually pressed into the soft clay using distinct stamps. This method suggests a deliberate, systematic approach to inscription, hinting at a level of technological sophistication far beyond simple scribing. The creation of such precise individual stamps implies a repetitive use or a standardized system of replication, which lends credence to the early printing theory. It begs the question, if these stamps were made, where are the other clay tablets or objects created using the same set of symbols? The disc remains a singular anomaly, a one-of-a-kind artifact with no known parallels. The lack of comparative texts or a bilingual key like the Rosetta Stone further confounds attempts at translation. Without another artifact displaying the same text in a known language, linguists are left to speculate based on patterns, symbol frequencies, and potential relationships to other ancient scripts, all with limited success. The symbols themselves are highly pictorial, depicting human figures, animals, plants, tools, and abstract shapes. This visual richness adds to their allure but also their ambiguity. Is a symbol representing a bird, for instance, meant to convey the literal meaning of bird? Or is it a phonetic sound, an ideogram, or part of a more complex logographic system? The possibilities are endless, and without a breakthrough, the disc continues to guard its secrets. So, what ancient message lies hidden within these enigmatic symbols, waiting to be unlocked more than a century after its discovery? Could it contain a lost history, a profound philosophical text, or instructions for some forgotten ancient technology? The very existence of the Phaistos Disc challenges our understanding of ancient communication and information storage. It forces us to acknowledge that ancient civilizations may have possessed innovative methods of recording and disseminating knowledge that we have yet to fully comprehend. This silent, spiraling testament to Minoan ingenuity serves as a powerful reminder that some of history's deepest secrets are literally buried in plain sight, waiting for the right key to reveal their profound truths. Having explored the enigma of the Phaistos Disc, we now journey to ancient Egypt, where another fascinating mystery awaits within the intricate walls of the Hathor Temple at Dendera. Here, among the detailed hieroglyphic carvings, you will observe something truly extraordinary, depictions that some have interpreted as ancient light bulbs. Picture this: within the deeply carved reliefs of the temple, figures appear to be holding large, bulb-like objects. These strange devices are often shown with a serpent or coiled wire-like element inside, seemingly connected to a power source or a stand. The imagery is remarkably consistent across several carvings within the temple, each one inviting us to look closer and consider its startling implications. Mainstream Egyptologists have traditionally interpreted these carvings as purely symbolic representations, perhaps illustrating aspects of Egyptian mythology, such as the creation story or the rebirth of the sun god. The serpent, for instance, is often seen as a symbol of creation or divine energy. The bulb itself could be a stylized lotus flower, a common motif in Egyptian art associated with creation and light. From this conventional perspective, there's no suggestion of literal technology. It's all about sacred narratives and religious symbolism. This interpretation fits neatly within our established understanding of ancient Egyptian capabilities and beliefs, painting a picture of a civilization deeply rooted in spiritual and ritualistic practices rather than advanced science. However, a different perspective emerges when we consider the practical challenges faced by ancient Egyptians. They built and decorated vast subterranean chambers and temples, many of which are virtually devoid of natural light. If they used torches, the soot and smoke would have left visible traces on the ceilings and walls, yet many of these dark passages show no such evidence. This absence of soot fuels an intriguing question. How did they illuminate these spaces? This is where the alternative theories about the Dendera Light come into play. Proponents of this idea suggest that the carvings are not just symbolic, but actual depictions of an ancient form of electrical lighting. They point to the serpent inside the bulb as a filament and the connected stand or cable as a conductor for an electrical current. Could the ancient Egyptians have possessed knowledge of electric light, using some form of rudimentary battery, perhaps even similar to the Baghdad Battery we discussed earlier, to power these devices? This is a bold claim, one that challenges the conventional timeline of technological development, which places the discovery of electricity firmly in much later eras. If true, it would mean the Egyptians had found a way to generate and control electricity thousands of years before its recognized invention. Imagine the possibilities: well-lit temples and tombs, constructed and adorned in darkness, without the flickering hazards or air pollution of conventional fire. This intriguing imagery invites us to step beyond traditional interpretations and consider unconventional possibilities that might seem almost fantastical. While there's no definitive archaeological evidence like actual ancient light bulbs or batteries found at Dendera, the visual representation is undeniably thought-provoking. It prompts us to ask whether our current understanding of ancient technology is complete. What if these carvings are not just allegories but a visual record, a kind of instruction manual or historical depiction of forgotten scientific processes? The debate surrounding the Dendera Light highlights the fascinating tension between established historical narratives and the allure of hidden ancient technologies. Moving from the intriguing light theories of Dendera, we now shift our gaze across continents to the arid plains of Peru, where an even grander mystery awaits. Standing on the high plateaus of the Nazca Desert, you can gaze upon the vast geoglyphs etched into the earth, the enigmatic Nazca lines. These colossal figures, depicting animals like hummingbirds, monkeys, and spiders, as well as plants and intricate geometric shapes, are so immense they are only truly visible from a great height. Imagine the awe of discovering these sprawling drawings, which stretch for miles across the desert floor, their precision and scale almost unbelievable given the tools available to an ancient civilization. For decades, the purpose of these monumental earthworks has fueled intense debate and speculation. Mainstream archaeological theories often attribute them to ritualistic purposes, perhaps as pathways for religious processions or as offerings to deities. Others propose they served as astronomical observatories or calendars, with specific lines aligning to solstices, equinoxes, or the rising and setting of celestial bodies. Dr. Maria Reich, a German mathematician and archaeologist, dedicated more than 5 decades of her life to meticulously studying and preserving the Nazca lines. She tirelessly measured and mapped hundreds of these figures, firmly advocating for their role as an astronomical calendar or even as a giant textile loom for weaving patterns related to the movement of the stars. Her work provided invaluable insights into the incredible precision with which these lines were created. Yet, despite extensive research, the exact function of the Nazca lines remains elusive, opening the door for more unconventional theories. Some researchers suggest these geoglyphs might have had practical hidden functions related to water sources, acting as markers for underground aquifers or channels in a parched landscape. Given the scarcity of water in the Nazca region, any system indicating its presence would have been invaluable for survival. Another intriguing possibility, albeit one that stretches the imagination, is that they served as signaling devices or even as landing strips for ancient aircraft, a theory that ties into other ancient astronaut hypotheses. While no credible evidence supports the latter, the sheer scale and visibility from the air certainly provoke such thoughts. The method of their creation also presents a profound puzzle. How did the ancient Nazca people, without the benefit of aerial vantage points or advanced surveying equipment, managed to create such perfectly straight lines and geometrically precise figures on such a grand scale? They would have had to work with remarkable accuracy, possibly using rudimentary surveying techniques involving ropes, stakes, and observation points on higher ground. The process itself would have been a massive communal effort, requiring sophisticated planning and organization. The lines were formed by removing the reddish-brown surface rocks, exposing the lighter-colored subsoil underneath, which then oxidized and hardened over time, preserving the figures for millennia due to the region's arid climate. The Nazca lines stand as a testament to the ingenuity and perhaps even the hidden knowledge of an ancient civilization. They confront us with profound questions about the level of technological understanding and purpose behind their creation. What unseen function did these enormous, breathtaking earthworks serve in ancient times? Were they religious symbols, practical tools, or something far more complex that still eludes our understanding? Their enduring mystery continues to captivate researchers and enthusiasts alike, prompting us to consider the vast scope of untold history etched into our planet. Leaving the sprawling mysteries of the Nazca lines behind us, we now journey back to the desert sands of Egypt, where a much smaller, yet equally perplexing artifact awaits our scrutiny, the Saqqara Bird. Found during an excavation of an ancient Egyptian tomb in 1898, this small wooden object was initially catalogued as nothing more than a ceremonial bird or perhaps a child's toy. It measured roughly 7 inches in length, and its lightweight sycamore wood suggested a delicate, decorative purpose. For decades, it sat in a museum, largely unnoticed, seemingly just another relic among countless others. However, a closer look at the Saqqara bird reveals features that are strikingly unconventional for a typical bird carving. Unlike most depictions of birds from ancient Egypt, which often emphasize wings, feathers, and detailed beaks, the Saqqara bird possesses a sleek, almost streamlined body. Its most curious attribute is its tail, which is not fanned out like a bird's but rather an upright, vertical stabilizer, a design element commonly found on modern aircraft. Furthermore, the object lacks any clear features for propulsion, like flapping wings, and its overall shape doesn't immediately suggest a natural bird in flight. Some experts began to ask, what if this wasn't just a toy or a simple artistic representation of a bird, but something far more sophisticated? The idea that the Saqqara bird might be more than it seems gained significant traction when it caught the attention of aeronautical engineers in the 1970s. Dr. Khalil Messiha, an Egyptian physician and archaeologist, was among the first to seriously propose that the artifact was a model of a glider or an ancient aircraft. He noted its distinctive aerodynamic qualities and the unique design of its tail. Inspired by these observations, he built a larger replica of the Saqqara bird, meticulously scaling its proportions and ensuring the materials mirrored the original as closely as possible. When this model was tested in wind tunnels, the results were astonishing. It demonstrated remarkable stability and lift, performing exceptionally well as a glider. This suggests that the ancient Egyptians, or at least the creator of this object, might have possessed a rudimentary yet functional understanding of aerodynamics and the principles of flight. The implications of the Saqqara bird's potential function are profound. If it truly represents an ancient flying machine, even a glider, it pushes back the known timeline of aeronautical knowledge by thousands of years. Dating back to approximately 200 BC, this artifact predates the earliest documented attempts at human flight by centuries. While there's no definitive evidence that the Egyptians ever built full-sized flying machines based on this design, the existence of such a sophisticated model raises fascinating questions about their technological ambitions and the limits of our current understanding of their capabilities. Could this seemingly simple wooden object hold the key to uncovering ancient aeronautical ambitions? Or is it merely a well-crafted toy with an uncanny resemblance to modern aircraft? The debate continues to this day, with mainstream archaeologists generally favoring the explanation of a ceremonial or recreational object, while others advocate for its hidden aeronautical function. Regardless of its true purpose, the Saqqara Bird stands as a compelling example of an ancient artifact that continues to challenge our perceptions and spark our imagination, prompting us to consider the possibility that our ancestors soared higher than we ever imagined. Shifting our focus from potential ancient flight, we journey across oceans and millennia to the high plains of Bolivia, where a ceramic bowl known as the Fuente Magna presents a riddle of transatlantic connections that could rewrite history. This unassuming artifact, discovered near Lake Titicaca, is no ordinary piece of pottery. What makes it astonishing is that it's adorned with a perplexing mix of two distinct writing systems, local indigenous designs typical of the region, and most controversially, what appears to be Sumerian cuneiform, a script originating from ancient Mesopotamia, thousands of miles and thousands of years away. Imagine the implications if this bowl is truly authentic. It would suggest an astonishing, direct connection between ancient Mesopotamian civilizations and cultures in South America, long before Columbus ever set sail or even before the established migrations across the Bering Strait. The very idea challenges our conventional understanding of ancient global interactions and the timeline of exploration. Archaeologists and epigraphers have engaged in intense debate over the Fuente Magna, forming two distinct camps. One side vehemently argues it's a modern hoax or a misidentification, pointing to the lack of other corroborating evidence for such a connection. They emphasize that the presence of Sumerian script in the Americas is simply too anachronistic to be genuine, given the vast geographical and temporal distances. However, proponents of its authenticity argue that the cuneiform inscriptions bear a striking resemblance to early Sumerian pictographic writing, specifically from the 3rd millennium BC. Some interpretations of the text even suggest it's a dedication to a goddess, a concept not uncommon in ancient Sumerian religious practices. If these interpretations hold true, the Fuente Magna would serve as compelling, albeit singular, evidence of forgotten trade routes or voyages that spanned continents, perhaps even technologies that allowed for such ambitious journeys. The bowl forces us to consider whether our ancestors possessed maritime capabilities far beyond what mainstream history acknowledges, enabling them to navigate vast oceans and establish cultural exchanges on a scale we're only beginning to comprehend. The debate around the Fuente Magna isn't just about a single artifact, it's about the very narrative of human history. If verified, it would open a Pandora's box of questions. How did Sumerian knowledge or individuals reach the Americas? What other cultural, technological, or linguistic exchanges might have taken place, leaving no other discernible trace? This object, whether genuine or not, serves as a powerful symbol of the many untold stories embedded in the archaeological record, urging us to question established timelines and consider the possibility of a far more interconnected ancient world. What implications does this singular object have for our understanding of ancient global interactions and forgotten trade routes, truly? Returning to the well-documented world of the Roman Empire, we encounter an object both perplexing and ubiquitous, the Roman Dodecahedron. Visualize a hollow artifact typically crafted from bronze, sometimes stone, featuring 12 perfectly flat, pentagonal faces. Each face proudly displays a circular hole of varying diameter, and at every corner there are small, spherical knobs. These curious objects have been unearthed across the Roman Empire, from Britain to Italy, yet their precise function remains one of archaeology's most enduring puzzles. Their widespread distribution and consistent construction hint at a standardized purpose, suggesting they were not mere decorative curios but rather tools or instruments used for a specific, yet now obscure, task. Many theories have been proposed to unravel the mystery of the Roman dodecahedron, each attempting to fit this peculiar geometrical object into the fabric of Roman life. Some experts suggest they were surveying tools, perhaps used to measure distances or angles on construction sites, given the precision of their manufacture. The varying sizes of the holes on each face might have allowed for different measurements or perspectives. Others lean towards a more mundane purpose, proposing they were candle holders, the knobs serving as feet and the holes somehow accommodating a light source. Another intriguing idea places them in the realm of games, suggesting they might have been a form of dice, though their complex structure seems overly elaborate for simple chance. Perhaps they were even religious artifacts used in rituals or ceremonies, their intricate form holding symbolic meaning that has since been lost to time. What makes the Roman dodecahedron particularly frustrating for historians and archaeologists is the complete absence of any mention in ancient Roman texts or records. Despite hundreds of these artifacts being found, not a single historical document or inscription describes their use, purpose, or significance. This silence is deafening, especially considering the Romans were meticulous record keepers, documenting everything from military campaigns to detailed instructions for building roads and aqueducts. The lack of textual evidence forces experts to rely solely on speculation and inference based on the objects themselves and their archaeological contexts. This oversight in the historical record, or perhaps the deliberate exclusion of their function from public knowledge, only deepens the enigma surrounding these objects. The consistent size and features of the dodecahedra, despite being found in such disparate locations across the vast Roman Empire, suggest a common, standardized function. This implies that whatever problem they solved, it was a widespread issue encountered by Romans everywhere, possibly a practical or administrative need that required a uniform solution. Imagine a scenario where a specific measurement or a particular calculation was crucial for trade, construction, or even military logistics, and the dodecahedron provided the means to achieve it. The fact that this problem and its solution has become so utterly obscure to us today highlights the vast gaps in our understanding of daily life and specialized knowledge in the ancient world. The Roman dodecahedron serves as a tangible reminder that even with extensive archaeological discovery, sometimes the most common objects can hold the greatest secrets, challenging us to discover what common, yet now obscure, problem this peculiar geometric object truly solved for the Romans. Turning our gaze now to ancient India, we encounter descriptions that could rewrite our understanding of historical aviation. Imagine ancient texts, not just poetic verses, but detailed accounts of astonishing flying machines known as vimanas. These aren't vague, mythical creatures of the sky, but elaborate vehicles described in epics like the Vimana Parva of the Mahabharata. These texts paint a vivid picture of craft capable of swift, silent flight, ascending to great heights and even traversing vast distances, including what some interpret as journeys between planets. The narratives speak not only of travel but also of advanced weaponry deployed from these aerial platforms, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of both propulsion and combat applications. What makes these descriptions so compelling is their specificity. The ancient Sanskrit texts mention various types of vimanas, each with distinct features and capabilities. Some are described as disc-shaped, others as long and cylindrical, resembling modern dirigibles, while still others are said to be multi-decked and capable of carrying numerous passengers. The texts even delve into the materials used in their construction, the types of fuel they consumed, and the control mechanisms employed by their pilots. While mainstream historical interpretations often dismiss these accounts as allegorical or purely mythological, a growing number of researchers and enthusiasts argue that such detailed descriptions might hint at real, forgotten technologies. They suggest it is improbable that ancient people would conjure such intricate technical specifications without some basis in observation or conceptual understanding. Consider the notion that these Vimanas were not just fantastical elements of epic poems, but perhaps reflections of an advanced aeronautical knowledge possessed by ancient Indian civilizations. This idea challenges the conventional timeline of technological development, which places the invention of powered flight firmly in the late 1900s. If the descriptions in these ancient texts are to be taken literally, even in part, then our understanding of ancient engineering and scientific prowess would need a radical re-evaluation. It raises profound questions. How did they achieve such feats? What propulsion systems did they utilize? And why did this knowledge seemingly vanish from the historical record, leaving only these tantalizing textual clues? The implications extend beyond mere historical curiosity. If ancient Indians had the capacity for flight, it suggests a level of scientific inquiry and technological application that far surpasses what is often attributed to pre-modern societies. It implies a mastery of physics, aerodynamics, and materials science that would be revolutionary for their time. Some theorists even propose that the Vimanas were extraterrestrial in origin, suggesting that ancient civilizations received knowledge or technology from visitors from other worlds, which was then faithfully recorded in their sacred text. While this avenue of thought remains highly speculative, it underscores the deep mystery surrounding these aerial vehicles and the desire to find explanations for such advanced concepts in an ancient context. The narratives of the Vimanas compel us to stretch our imaginations and consider that the skies above ancient India might have been far busier than conventional history currently allows. Moving from the skies of ancient India, our journey takes us to the Americas, where another set of intriguing artifacts challenges our conventional understanding of ancient technology, the Columbia Golden Jets. Observe these small, exquisitely crafted gold artifacts discovered in pre-Columbian sites across South America. Initially, archaeologists classified them as zoomorphic figures, attributing their shapes to stylized birds, insects, or fish, in keeping with the artistic conventions of indigenous cultures. However, what makes these particular pieces stand out, and why have they sparked such intense debate, is their uncanny resemblance to modern delta-wing aircraft. Look closely at their design. Many of these golden objects feature what appear to be rigid, triangular wings, a distinct fuselage, and a stabilized tail fin that is remarkably upright and structurally integral, much like the vertical stabilizers on modern airplanes. Unlike most depictions of birds or insects from the period, these artifacts lack typical avian features such as feathers, articulated legs, or natural wing curves. Instead, their forms are incredibly sleek, streamlined, and aerodynamic, mirroring the sophisticated engineering principles found in contemporary jet designs. Aeronautical engineers who have studied these objects have noted their impressive aerodynamic properties. For instance, some of these artifacts exhibit a delta wing configuration, a design not fully explored in modern aviation until the mid-20th century, known for its stability and efficiency at high speeds. This striking similarity compels us to question whether these were merely artistic interpretations of animals or something far more revolutionary. The possibility that these golden objects are miniature models of actual flying craft, representing a forgotten technology of the ancient Americas, is a notion that pushes the boundaries of our historical imagination. It's hard to reconcile the idea of highly advanced aerodynamic understanding existing thousands of years ago with our current historical timelines. If these artifacts truly depict flying machines, it implies a level of technological sophistication in pre-Columbian civilizations that goes far beyond simple tools or agricultural practices. Could these ancient artisans have been documenting real machines they had seen or even created? The idea is certainly provocative. Conventional archaeological interpretations struggle to fully explain why ancient artists would create animal forms with such precise aerodynamic characteristics. If they were simply depicting bats or birds, why omit common biological details in favor of what appears to be engineered efficiency? This anomaly invites us to consider alternative possibilities. Perhaps these were ceremonial objects sacred to their creators, but imbued with a deeper knowledge of flight that has been lost to time. Or perhaps, as some daring theories suggest, they represent a pictorial record of objects witnessed from a more technologically advanced external source. Regardless of the interpretation, these small golden objects force us to look beyond simplistic explanations and ponder the true extent of ancient ingenuity and the possibility of forgotten knowledge in the Americas. They stand as silent, glimmering challenges to our understanding of the past, beckoning us to explore possibilities that history books have yet to acknowledge. From the enigmatic gold models of the Americas, our journey now takes us to a remote cave in China, where another astounding yet highly controversial relic awaits our consideration: the fabled Dropa stones. Imagine for a moment the year 1938, when a Chinese archaeological expedition exploring the Bayan Karaula Mountains reportedly stumbled upon a series of interconnected caves. Within these ancient caverns, they allegedly discovered thousands of stone discs, each approximately 9 inches in diameter, with a circular hole in the center and intricate grooves spiraling outwards, resembling a sort of ancient record or compact disc. What initially made these discs intriguing was not just their unusual form, but the hieroglyph-like symbols etched into their grooves. According to some highly controversial interpretations, these symbols told an extraordinary tale. They detailed the crash landing of an alien spacecraft thousands of years ago and the subsequent interactions between its extraterrestrial occupants, known as the Dropa, and the local tribes inhabiting the area. These narratives speak of the Dropa's peaceful intentions, their struggles to repair their damaged ship, and ultimately, their inability to return to their home world, leading them to integrate, sometimes violently, with the indigenous cave dwellers. This astonishing account, popularized by researchers like Erich von Däniken, paints a vivid picture of interstellar visitors influencing ancient human societies. However, it is crucial to note that mainstream academia overwhelmingly considers the story of the Dropa stones to be a modern hoax, a captivating urban legend with little to no credible archaeological or scientific evidence. No authenticated academic papers have ever confirmed their discovery, and the key figures associated with their supposed translation have proven difficult to verify. Despite the skepticism, the enduring legend of the Dropa stones continues to fascinate and intrigue. The persistent allure of the Dropa stones, even in the face of scientific debunking, prompts deeper questions about humanity's fascination with ancient alien visitation theories. Why do such narratives resonate so strongly? Perhaps it's a reflection of our innate curiosity about the cosmos, our desire to believe that we are not alone, or a yearning for a larger, more complex history than what conventional records offer. The idea that advanced beings from beyond Earth might have visited our planet in the distant past provides a compelling, albeit speculative, explanation for some of history's most baffling mysteries and technological anomalies. Even if proven to be a complete fabrication, the Dropa stones serve as a powerful cultural artifact in their own right, symbolizing the human imagination's capacity to conceive of encounters beyond our planet. They challenge us to consider the boundaries of historical possibility and the limits of our current understanding. Do these disputed artifacts, regardless of their authenticity, hint at a collective human unconsciousness grappling with the vastness of the universe and the potential for life beyond our world? Their story, whether fact or fiction, undeniably sparks contemplation about civilizations beyond Earth and the profound impact such encounters might have had, or could still have, on our own development and perception of reality. Following the discussion of the controversial Dropa stones, another purportedly ancient disk continues to fuel similar speculation about cosmic knowledge and potential extraterrestrial connections, the Lolladov Plate. Imagine a disk roughly circular, etched with what appears to be a spiral galaxy at its center, surrounded by celestial bodies that could be a sun and planets. What makes this artifact particularly intriguing and equally contentious are the figures depicted on it, which some assert closely resemble the extraterrestrial beings described in the Dropa legends. This striking similarity has led many to question if these two artifacts, despite being purportedly found on opposite sides of the Asian continent, the Dropa stones in China and the Lolladov Plate allegedly in Nepal, could be linked through a shared, hidden history. Proponents of its authenticity suggest the Lolladov Plate is not merely an artistic representation but a sophisticated astronomical calendar or even a map of cosmic origins, containing advanced knowledge far beyond what ancient civilizations were traditionally thought to possess. The presence of what some interpret as non-human figures strengthens the argument that these ancient cultures might have had contact with intelligence from beyond our world, receiving insights into the universe that were then encoded into these mysterious artifacts. This notion challenges conventional historical narratives that place the development of accurate astronomical understanding much later in human history, implying a lost lineage of cosmic wisdom. The Lolladov Plate, if authentic, would force a radical re-evaluation of humanity's early grasp of the cosmos. However, like the Dropa stones, the authenticity of the Lolladov Plate remains highly questionable within mainstream archaeological and scientific circles. There is no verifiable archaeological record of its discovery, and its origin story is largely anecdotal, circulated through channels that prioritize sensational claims over rigorous academic verification. Critics point out the lack of peer-reviewed studies or publications confirming its antiquity or the validity of its purported alien depictions. Despite these significant doubts, the plate persists as a powerful symbol in alien visitation theories, continuing to captivate the imagination of those who seek alternative explanations for humanity's past. Its very existence, real or imagined, highlights a deep-seated human desire to connect with something larger than ourselves, to find answers in the stars. The Lolladov Plate, whether a genuine relic or a modern fabrication, serves as a fascinating case study in how certain artifacts, regardless of their scientific standing, become cultural touchstones for broader beliefs about ancient mysteries and extraterrestrial life. It taps into a collective curiosity about the universe's vastness and the possibility that humanity's story is intertwined with cosmic events. What if these symbols, even if modern interpretations, reflect an enduring human fascination with the idea of advanced beings sharing their celestial secrets? This controversial disk, therefore, not only fuels speculation about ancient wisdom concerning the cosmos, but also reflects our ongoing fascination with the question of non-human intelligence and the profound impact such discoveries would have on our understanding of existence. Now, let's reconsider the iconic Egyptian pyramids, traditionally viewed simply as grand tombs for pharaohs. While this explanation has been the accepted narrative for centuries, a growing chorus of alternative theories suggests these colossal structures might have harbored a far more complex and functional purpose than mere burial sites. Imagine if these monumental edifices were not just monuments to the dead, but instead massive energy generators or sophisticated resonance chambers capable of harnessing the Earth's natural telluric currents. This radical idea challenges our fundamental understanding of ancient Egyptian capabilities. One of the most prominent proponents of this alternative view is Christopher Dunn, a master machinist and engineer who has spent decades meticulously studying the precise construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Dunn argues that the pyramid's intricate internal design, the specific materials used in its construction, and its precise alignment are all indicative of sophisticated acoustic and electrical functions. He points to features like the Grand Gallery with its corbelled ceiling and resonant properties, suggesting it could have amplified energy, the use of granite, a highly insulative material within the king's chamber, alongside limestone, which has piezoelectric properties, further fuels these theories. Could these materials have been deliberately chosen to facilitate the generation, collection, or transmission of energy? This perspective posits that the pyramids might have been immense machines designed to interact with the natural energy fields of the Earth. Some theories suggest they could have converted telluric energy into a usable form, perhaps even powering ancient cities or performing other as yet unknown functions that required substantial energy output. How else could ancient Egyptians have illuminated vast internal chambers without leaving any trace of soot from traditional torches? The absence of such residue has long puzzled researchers. If the pyramids were indeed designed for an energetic purpose, it would transform our understanding of ancient technology and what was possible thousands of years ago. The idea that the pyramids of Giza were more than just elaborate tombs pushes the boundaries of conventional archaeology, inviting us to look beyond established interpretations. It forces us to ask, what if the ancient Egyptians possessed scientific knowledge and engineering prowess far beyond what we currently attribute to them? Could these massive structures have had a hidden energetic purpose, perhaps acting as ancient power plants that tapped into the very pulse of the Earth, or fulfilling other functions that remain shrouded in the mysteries of time? The debate continues, challenging us to consider just how much of ancient history we truly understand. Moving from the colossal structures of Giza, we now turn our attention to another highly debated site that challenges our understanding of ancient architecture and its true origins, the controversial hills in Bosnia. Picture vast, tree-covered hills near Visoko, Bosnia-Herzegovina, which some researchers claim are not natural formations but rather ancient, artificially constructed pyramids. This assertion, primarily championed by Bosnian archaeologist Semir Osmanagic, suggests these structures could be far older and even larger than the famous pyramids of Egypt. If proven authentic, this claim would radically alter our understanding of early European history and advanced prehistoric civilizations, pushing back the timeline for monumental construction by thousands of years in a region not traditionally associated with such advanced building feats. The proponents of the Bosnian pyramids theory point to remarkable features like geometric shapes, apparent terraces, and what they describe as paved entrances and underground tunnel systems, all hinting at human intervention. They cite geological surveys that have detected unusual electromagnetic phenomena emanating from within these hills, suggesting some hidden, perhaps artificial, internal structure that differs from typical natural geology. Furthermore, Osmanagic's team has presented findings of ancient concrete-like material that they argue is older and more durable than modern concrete, implying an advanced construction technology. These observations lead to the tantalizing possibility that these aren't just hills, but remnants of an incredibly ancient civilization with capabilities that defy our current historical narratives. However, it is crucial to acknowledge that the claims surrounding the Bosnian pyramids are met with widespread skepticism and strong opposition from mainstream geologists and archaeologists worldwide. The scientific consensus largely disputes the claims of artificial construction, classifying the formations as natural geological phenomena known as flat-topped hills or buttes. Critics argue that the alleged geometric shapes and terraces are simply the result of natural erosion patterns over long periods, and the so-called tunnels are natural cave systems. They also question the dating methods and the interpretation of the electromagnetic readings, suggesting that these can be explained by natural geological processes. The debate highlights a fundamental challenge in archaeology, distinguishing between anomalies created by nature and those meticulously crafted by ancient hands. Despite the professional disagreement, the ongoing debate surrounding the Bosnian pyramids continues to captivate public imagination. It prompts us to consider the possibility that some of the most impressive ancient structures might still be hidden in plain sight, disguised as natural landscapes. What hidden history might these hills reveal if they were indeed ancient monuments? And what implications would that have for our understanding of human civilization's true origins and capabilities? The controversy serves as a powerful reminder that history is not static. It is constantly being re-evaluated, and sometimes the biggest discoveries are found where we least expect them, challenging us to look beyond established dogmas and embrace new, albeit contentious, possibilities. Moving from the controversial hills of Bosnia, let's navigate ocean currents and ancient cartography to explore the enigma of the Pirry Rise Map. Imagine a world map from the early 1600s, drawn by an Ottoman admiral named Pirry Rise, that astonishingly depicts a detailed coastline of Antarctica. What makes this so baffling is that Antarctica was not officially discovered until 1820, and its coastline was not accurately mapped until the 1940s, with the aid of advanced aerial surveys and subpolar expeditions. Yet here is a map drawn centuries earlier, showing not only parts of its coastline but, incredibly, a coastline that appears to be free of ice, as it would have looked perhaps thousands of years ago. How could a 16th century cartographer possess such precise information about a continent then completely unknown and obscured by massive ice sheets? The prevailing theories are as intriguing as the map itself. One suggests that Pirry Rise did not create this map from scratch, but instead compiled it from a multitude of much older source maps, some of which are now lost to history. This implies that ancient civilizations, far more ancient than the map itself, might have had the capability to explore and map the entire globe, including its polar regions, with a level of accuracy we only achieved very recently. Consider the implications. If true, it would mean that long before the European age of exploration, sophisticated navigators had charted the world in its entirety, perhaps using techniques or technologies we have yet to rediscover. This idea challenges our traditional understanding of historical timelines and the progression of geographical knowledge, suggesting a forgotten golden age of exploration. Another fascinating possibility is that the Pirry Rise Map is evidence of extraordinary ancient navigation techniques that allowed early explorers to traverse vast distances and gather incredibly precise geographical data without modern instruments. Some researchers propose that ancient mariners used advanced celestial navigation, studying star patterns and their movements with a depth of understanding that allowed for accurate long-distance voyages. Others suggest that forgotten methods of calculating longitude and latitude, far more precise than anything available in the 16th century, were employed by these ancient cartographers. The map's accuracy, particularly concerning the contours of the then undiscovered Antarctic landmass, forces us to re-evaluate what we thought was possible for ancient peoples when it came to global exploration and mapping. It hints at a level of ingenuity and ambition that transcends what conventional history often credits them with. This cartographic anomaly does more than just challenge our dates of discovery. It opens up a Pandora's box of questions about ancient knowledge and global interconnectivity. If ancient civilizations possessed such detailed geographical information, what else did they know about the world? Did they have global trade routes that spanned continents and oceans we are only now beginning to uncover? What events led to the loss of this extensive knowledge, leading to a period where much of the world had to be rediscovered centuries later? The Pirry Rise Map stands as a compelling piece of evidence that our understanding of ancient world history might be far from complete, suggesting there are vast chapters of human achievement waiting to be revealed. What ancient knowledge of the world did Pirry Rise access that allowed him to draw a continent centuries before its official discovery? Gaze upon the enigmatic crystal skulls, objects that have captivated imaginations for centuries, some of which are claimed to be pre-Columbian Mesoamerican artifacts. These intricately carved skulls, often made from quartz, are said by some to possess extraordinary mystical powers, ranging from the ability to heal ailments to storing ancient knowledge or even acting as a form of ancient computer. They have appeared in various narratives, from spiritual ceremonies to adventurous tales, deeply embedding themselves in popular culture as symbols of forgotten wisdom and hidden capabilities. The very idea that such objects might hold profound secrets from a lost civilization is undeniably alluring, tapping into our deepest curiosities about the past and its unknown technologies. What if these crystalline forms truly served as tools for forgotten sciences, perhaps even allowing a connection to realms beyond ordinary perception? The allure is powerful, even for those skeptical of their mystical claims. However, the scientific community largely views most, if not all, of these celebrated crystal skulls as modern forgeries, crafted in the 1900s rather than thousands of years ago. Investigations using advanced analytical techniques, such as electron microscopy, have revealed telltale signs of modern tooling and polishing methods that were simply not available to ancient Mesoamerican artisans. Despite this scientific debunking, the enduring myth of the crystal skulls persists, speaking volumes about a profound human desire for ancient wisdom and the notion of advanced artifacts that transcend our current understanding. This longing for connections to a technologically sophisticated past or for insights into metaphysical abilities highlights a deep-seated fascination with the possibility that our ancestors possessed knowledge and capacities far beyond what conventional history often credits them with. The very debate surrounding these objects, authentic or not, underscores our persistent fascination with the unknown and our willingness to believe in the extraordinary. The allure of these objects, despite rigorous scientific scrutiny and debunking, reveals a deeper chord within humanity, our innate longing for extraordinary explanations and the romantic notion of a lost golden age. We are drawn to the idea that ancient civilizations might have possessed secrets, either technological or spiritual, that allowed them to achieve feats we can barely comprehend today. The crystal skulls fit perfectly into this narrative, suggesting that knowledge could be stored, accessed, or even manipulated through crystalline structures. Even if they are modern creations, their existence and the myths surrounding them serve as a powerful metaphor for our continuous search for hidden truths and capabilities in the world around us. What hidden powers, if any, were truly attributed to such ancient crystalline objects by the cultures that supposedly created them? or by those who believed in their legends. The debate isn't just about authenticity, it's about our enduring quest for meaning and the desire to uncover forgotten chapters of human history. Now, let's dive into some of the most intriguing and controversial ancient writings, the Sumerian Ananaki text. Imagine vast collections of cuneiform tablets, etched with stories of powerful beings known as the Ananaki, who are described as having descended from the heavens. These texts, originating from ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, recount intricate narratives about the creation of humanity and the early days of civilization itself. For many centuries, these accounts have been interpreted by scholars as purely mythological pantheons, symbolic representations of gods and goddesses, much like those found in other ancient cultures. They speak of divine interventions, cosmic dramas, and the establishment of societal order, all through the lens of ancient polytheistic beliefs. Their rich narratives provide invaluable insights into the spiritual and cultural landscape of one of humanity's earliest complex societies. But what if these ancient tales are not merely myths? This is where the narrative takes a fascinating turn. Some modern theorists propose that these incredibly detailed Sumerian texts are, in fact, literal historical accounts of extraterrestrial visitation and even genetic engineering. Think about that for a moment. Instead of gods, these beings from the heavens were actually advanced visitors from another planet. This radical reinterpretation suggests that the Anunnaki may have been highly intelligent, technologically superior beings who arrived on Earth, possibly influencing or even directly participating in the dawn of human civilization. This perspective challenges conventional archaeology and history, pushing the boundaries of what we typically consider as ancient history. It transforms mythological narratives into potential historical records of contact with civilizations beyond our own. One of the most prominent proponents of this controversial theory was Zecharia Sitchin. Through his extensive work, particularly his book series The Earth Chronicles, Sitchin popularized the idea that the Sumerian texts were not allegories or myths, but rather factual accounts of these extraterrestrial beings. He meticulously analyzed and translated cuneiform tablets, arguing that they describe the Anunnaki coming to Earth from a distant planet, often identified as Nibiru, to mine gold. According to Sitchin, they then manipulated early hominids genetically to create humanity as a labor force. While his interpretations are largely dismissed by mainstream academics, who point to linguistic and contextual inaccuracies in his translations, Sitchin's theories have profoundly influenced popular culture and the ancient astronaut hypothesis. His work fueled widespread speculation about alien involvement in human evolution and ancient technological advancements, capturing the imaginations of millions who sought answers beyond conventional historical explanations. The implications of Sitchin's theory and similar interpretations of the Anunnaki texts are enormous. If these ancient narratives are indeed veiled historical records of contact with advanced civilizations beyond Earth, it would fundamentally reshape our understanding of human origins, technological development, and our place in the universe. Imagine a historical timeline where human civilization was not a purely indigenous development, but perhaps guided or even initiated by beings from another world. This concept opens up a Pandora's box of questions. What was their true purpose on Earth? How advanced was their technology, and what happened to them? While the scientific community remains highly skeptical, classifying these narratives firmly in the realm of mythology, the persistent intrigue surrounding the Anunnaki texts highlights humanity's deep-seated curiosity about our origins and the potential for life beyond our planet. It forces us to consider the possibility that some of the oldest stories on Earth might contain truths far stranger and more profound than we have ever dared to imagine. Turning our attention from ancient texts, let us marvel at the imposing Olmec colossal heads, massive sculptures carved from volcanic basalt by the Olmec civilization in ancient Mesoamerica. These monumental artifacts, some standing over 10 feet tall and weighing up to 50 tons, are among the most iconic symbols of this enigmatic culture, which flourished between approximately 1500 and 400 BC. Each head features distinct facial characteristics, often with fleshy cheeks, flat noses, and slightly crossed eyes, all adorned with helmet-like headgear. They were originally found buried in rows at various archaeological sites, primarily in the Gulf Coast lowlands of present-day Mexico, specifically in areas like San Lorenzo, La Venta, and Tres Zapotes. For many years, archaeologists have largely interpreted these colossal heads as profound portraits of powerful Olmec rulers, sculpted to immortalize their likenesses and reinforce their authority. The unique features of each head, it is argued, differentiate them as individual leaders, showcasing their distinct identities and the Olmec's remarkable artistic prowess. This theory paints a picture of a society with a well-developed political hierarchy and a sophisticated approach to leadership, where the ruler's image was paramount. However, the sheer scale and precise placement of these colossal heads at certain sites lead some researchers to propose a more intricate and potentially celestial function. While their primary role might have been to depict rulers, a fascinating question arises. Could their alignment and orientation at specific locations suggest they also served as astronomical markers or had a calendrical purpose? Imagine these massive stone faces not just as tributes to power, but as silent observers of the cosmos, perhaps pointing towards significant celestial events like solstices or equinoxes, or even marking the passage of time in a grand, monumental calendar. The Olmec had an advanced understanding of astronomy, as evidenced by other aspects of their culture, and it is plausible that they integrated this knowledge into their monumental art. This layered interpretation hints at a deeper, more profound connection between the Olmec leadership, their people, and the movements of the heavens. It suggests that these awe-inspiring sculptures were perhaps multifaceted tools, simultaneously honoring earthly leaders and connecting them to the divine cosmic order. One of the most persistent and baffling mysteries surrounding the Olmec colossal heads is the incredible logistics involved in their creation and transportation. The basalt used for these sculptures was quarried from sites kilometers away, often requiring movement over challenging terrain, including rivers and swamps. Consider the monumental effort required, cutting these 40 to 50-ton blocks from volcanic rock, then dragging or floating them for distances of up to 100 kilometers without the use of wheeled vehicles or beasts of burden. Engineers and archaeologists today still grapple with how the Olmec achieved such feats. Theories suggest the use of sledges, rollers, and even large rafts, painstakingly maneuvered by vast numbers of laborers over specially prepared routes. This logistical challenge highlights the extraordinary organizational skills, technological ingenuity, and immense social control possessed by the Olmec civilization. It speaks volumes about the collective effort and perhaps even spiritual motivation that drove such ambitious projects. So, were these monumental sculptures simply awe-inspiring tributes to the power and authority of Olmec rulers, immortalizing their physical presence for generations to come? Or did they serve a deeper celestial purpose, functioning as precise astronomical markers that connected the earthly realm with the cosmic dance of the heavens? The ongoing debate reflects our continued fascination with the sophisticated knowledge and capabilities of ancient civilizations. While the prevailing view remains that they represent rulers, the precise positioning and the sheer effort involved in their creation invite us to consider all possibilities. It reminds us that ancient artifacts often hold multiple layers of meaning, reflecting not just the earthly concerns of their creators, but also their profound awe and understanding of the universe around them. The Olmec colossal heads stand as enduring testaments to a powerful and mysterious culture, leaving us to wonder what other secrets are etched into their ancient stone faces. What hidden truths, then, lie beneath the waves off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan? Here, divers have discovered a series of controversially geometric rock formations that some argue are the remains of an ancient, submerged city or monument. The sheer scale and precise angles of these formations, complete with flat surfaces, sharp edges, and terraced structures, seem to defy typical natural erosion patterns according to a growing number of researchers and marine geologists. Imagine descending into the crystal-clear waters and encountering what looks like a massive, stepped pyramid or a series of interconnected buildings, all crafted from solid rock, submerged for potentially thousands of years. Mainstream geology often attributes these formations to natural geological processes, such as tectonic activity, erosion, and currents sculpting the soft sandstone over millennia. They point to similar natural rock formations found elsewhere and argue that what appears to be man-made precision is merely a trick of perception or the result of specific geological conditions. However, proponents of the artificial structure theory, notably marine geologist Masaki Kimura, who has spent decades studying the site, highlight compelling evidence. They point to features like apparent stone roadways, large staircases, perfectly straight walls, and even what looks like a carved animal figure or a human-like face, all seemingly integrated into the larger structure. These elements, they contend, are too uniform and too deliberate to be solely the work of nature. Consider the implications if these structures are indeed artificial. If confirmed as a man-made monument or city, it would radically push back the timeline of monumental architecture and complex civilization in the region by thousands of years. Conventional understanding suggests that the earliest complex societies in Japan emerged much later, around the Jomon period. The Yonaguni Monument, if proven to be artificial, would predate many universally accepted ancient wonders, suggesting a sophisticated civilization existed in this part of the world at a time when much of humanity was still believed to be in a much earlier stage of development. This discovery would force a radical re-evaluation of human history, challenging established chronologies and opening up new avenues of research into ancient technologies and societal structures. The debate over Yonaguni highlights the persistent challenge of distinguishing between natural geological wonders and meticulously crafted ancient structures, especially those submerged beneath the sea for untold millennia. The ocean, with its relentless currents and transformative power, can shape rock in extraordinary ways, sometimes mimicking the precision of human design. Yet, the compelling regularity and specific features observed at Yonaguni continue to fuel the discussion. Whether a testament to nature's artistry or a forgotten civilization's ambition, the Yonaguni Monument remains one of the most intriguing underwater mysteries on our planet, inviting us to ponder the depths of ancient human ingenuity. Now, let's reconsider Leonardo da Vinci's iconic drawing, the Vitruvian Man. Most of us recognize it immediately, a naked man, arms and legs outstretched, perfectly inscribed within a circle and a square. For centuries, this image has been lauded for its depiction of ideal human proportions, a masterful blend of art and anatomy that seems to capture the very essence of human physicality. It's often presented as a symbol of the Renaissance, celebrating humanism and the perfection of the human form. But what if there's more to this masterpiece than meets the eye? What if its significance extends far beyond mere artistic and anatomical prowess? Beyond its well-known artistic and anatomical significance, some fascinating interpretations suggest that the Vitruvian Man contains hidden mathematical or philosophical codes. These aren't just random theories, they delve into concepts like sacred geometry and universal harmony. For example, the precise geometric shapes, the circle representing the spiritual or divine, and the square symbolizing the earthly or material, are not accidental. Da Vinci, a polymath who excelled in engineering, science, and art, was deeply immersed in the philosophical ideas of his time, which often intertwined the human form with cosmological principles. Could he have been trying to convey a deeper understanding of the cosmos and humanity's intrinsic connection to it through this single drawing? Think about the way the human body itself, as depicted in the Vitruvian Man, seems to embody perfect ratios and symmetries. These proportions aren't just aesthetically pleasing, they resonate with mathematical principles found throughout nature, from the spiral of a seashell to the arrangement of planets. This connection between the microcosm of the human body and the macrocosm of the universe was a central theme in ancient philosophical traditions, including those that influenced the Renaissance. So, instead of just an anatomical study, this celebrated drawing may actually be a veiled scientific treatise, a visual representation of how the human form aligns with cosmic order, hinting at insights into the universe that are still unrecognized today. The placement of the navel at the center of the circle, for instance, reflects ancient beliefs about the human body as a sort of cosmic axis. This suggests that Da Vinci was not just illustrating a physical ideal, but also exploring profound philosophical questions about our place in the universe. Now, let's turn our gaze to a truly remarkable structure in North America, the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio. Imagine a massive effigy mound stretching over 1,300 feet long, meticulously shaped into the form of a winding serpent. This ancient earthwork is a testament to the ingenuity of its builders, the Adena people, who lived in the Ohio Valley 2,500 to 2,000 years ago. While its exact purpose continues to be debated among archaeologists and historians, its incredible scale and intricate design immediately grab your attention. While some scholars believe it was primarily a ritualistic site for ceremonies and spiritual practices, others offer a compelling alternative, that it functioned as a gigantic astronomical calendar or even an observatory for charting the movements of the heavens. This theory gains significant traction when you consider the mound's precise alignment with certain celestial events. For instance, the serpent's head points in the direction of the summer solstice sunset, and its coils align with other key solar and lunar events. This isn't mere coincidence. Such precision would have required an incredibly sophisticated understanding of astronomy and careful planning by its ancient creators. Think about the implications of this. If the Great Serpent Mound was indeed used to track the sun and moon, it suggests a profound connection between these ancient cultures and the cosmos. They weren't just observing the sky, they were integrating its rhythms into their lives, perhaps for agricultural purposes, ceremonial timings, or even navigating their world. This colossal earthwork embodies a forgotten knowledge, a silent record of how ancient peoples viewed their place within the universe and their reliance on celestial patterns. It challenges the common perception of early North American societies as purely primitive, showcasing instead an advanced level of scientific observation and engineering. This monumental structure stands as a powerful reminder of the deep astronomical wisdom held by cultures long past. Our journey through ancient mysteries now brings us to a legendary artifact shrouded in both myth and mounting scientific evidence, the Viking Sunstone. Imagine Norse navigators, renowned for their incredible voyages across the North Atlantic, sailing far from coastlines, often under overcast skies where the sun remained hidden. How did they maintain their course with such precision, navigating vast, featureless oceans without a compass? Ancient sagas hint at a secret tool, a mysterious crystalline object known simply as the Sunstone, believed to have helped them find the sun's position even on the cloudiest days. This wasn't just a folk tale, it was a practical necessity for survival and exploration. For centuries, the Sunstone was considered purely a product of Viking lore, a mythical device with no basis in reality. However, modern scientific inquiry has begun to tell a different story. Researchers have theorized that the Sunstone could have been a type of crystal, specifically Iceland spar, a transparent mineral with unique optical properties. When light passes through Iceland spar, it splits into two distinct rays, creating a double image. By rotating the crystal, a navigator could observe how these images coalesce into one, thereby pinpointing the sun's direction even when obscured by thick cloud cover or fog. This effect, known as polarization, would have provided a reliable method for determining the sun's azimuth, a critical piece of information for accurate navigation. Experiments conducted with Iceland spar and other polarizing crystals have demonstrated the remarkable efficacy of this technique. Scientists have successfully used these crystals to locate the sun's position with surprising accuracy, even when direct sunlight is imperceptible. This isn't just about laboratory conditions, it's about replicating an ancient problem and finding a plausible, simple, yet incredibly sophisticated solution. The ability to navigate long distances across open water without modern instruments was a monumental challenge, and the Sunstone, if indeed used in this way, represents an ingenious piece of navigational technology. It allowed the Vikings to expand their reach, establish new settlements, and build a trading network that spanned continents, fundamentally altering the course of European history. The potential reality of the Viking Sunstone compels us to re-evaluate what we perceive as primitive technology. This was not a device born of complex machinery, but rather a profound understanding of natural phenomena and an intuitive application of optical physics. It embodies a clever solution to a fundamental navigational problem, showcasing how ancient cultures harnessed seemingly simple materials to overcome immense challenges. This isn't just about finding direction, it's about a culture's deep connection to their environment, their acute observational skills, and their practical ingenuity that allowed them to master the seas. The Sunstone, whether mythical or real, stands as a testament to the sophisticated knowledge and adaptability of the Norse people, forever cementing their legacy as master navigators. Our incredible journey through ancient artifacts culminates now at Göbekli Tepe, a site that fundamentally rewrites the story of human civilization. Imagine stepping onto a dry, dusty hilltop in southeastern Turkey, a place that, until recently, was just another archaeological mound. Then picture excavators unearthing massive T-shaped stone pillars, some weighing up to 60 tons, intricately carved with animals like boars, foxes, lions, and birds, all arranged in precise circular enclosures. Dating back nearly 12,000 years, Göbekli Tepe predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years and the Egyptian pyramids by 7 millennia. It defies every previous assumption about the origins of complex human societies. For generations, historians believed that monumental architecture and organized religion arose only after humans adopted agriculture, leading to settled communities and the leisure time to build such structures. Göbekli Tepe shatters this linear progression. Its builders were hunter-gatherers, groups traditionally thought to be nomadic and incapable of the sustained effort and organization required for such colossal projects. This ancient site forces us to ask, did the desire to build this sacred, communal space actually prompt the development of agriculture rather than the other way around? Was it the need to feed large groups of workers for construction that led to the domestication of plants and animals? This reversal of cause and effect is one of Göbekli Tepe's most astounding secrets. Beyond its status as potentially the world's first temple, Göbekli Tepe also holds clues to an astonishingly advanced understanding of the cosmos. Many of the towering pillars at the site are perfectly aligned with specific celestial events. Researchers have proposed that certain enclosures acted as observatories, tracking the movements of stars and constellations that would have been prominent in the night sky 12,000 years ago. For example, some theorize the carvings on Pillar 43, often called the Vulture Stone, depict a comet impact that occurred around 10,950 BC, a cataclysmic event that could have inspired the site's construction or influenced its astronomical purpose. This suggests that these ancient hunter-gatherers were not just masters of their earthly environment, but also keen observers of the heavens, charting celestial patterns with a sophistication we are only just beginning to appreciate. The sheer effort required to quarry, transport, and erect these enormous stones, combined with their intricate artistic details and astronomical alignments, points to a highly organized society with a complex belief system and a profound connection to the natural world and the cosmos. The builders of Göbekli Tepe were not primitive. They were innovators, pioneers, and perhaps the first true astronomers. What profound knowledge did they possess that allowed them to envision and execute such an ambitious project? And why, after more than 1,000 years of continuous use, was Göbekli Tepe deliberately buried, its massive pillars carefully covered with earth, preserving it until its rediscovery in the modern era? These questions remain, inviting us to look deeper into the foundations of human history. As we conclude our exploration of 23 secrets buried in plain sight, uncovering ancient artifacts with hidden functions, we are left with a profound sense of awe and a multitude of lingering questions. These objects are far more than mere relics of a distant past. They serve as powerful, tangible reminders that history, in its true form, is vastly more intricate and mysterious than we often assume it to be. Each artifact we have examined, from the Antikythera Mechanism to the colossal structures of Göbekli Tepe, challenges our modern perspectives, urging us to remain open-minded and curious about the extraordinary capabilities and deep knowledge possessed by ancient civilizations. They compel us to look beyond conventional narratives and consider possibilities that were once deemed impossible or purely mythical. The continuous quest to decipher these secrets is not just an academic exercise. It is a testament to humanity's boundless curiosity and our eternal fascination with the unknown. Every new discovery, every reinterpretation of an existing artifact peels back another layer of time, revealing an increasingly complex tapestry of human ingenuity and understanding. These ancient marvels force us to reconsider the timeline of technological and societal development, pushing back the perceived beginnings of advanced astronomy, engineering, and organized religion by thousands of years. They invite us to imagine a world where our ancestors were not simply struggling for survival, but actively pursuing profound intellectual and spiritual endeavors. We encourage you, our viewers, to share your own theories in the comments below. Perhaps you have encountered other ancient artifacts that you believe hold hidden functions, objects that challenge established historical accounts, or insights that could shed new light on these mysteries. Your perspectives and questions are invaluable as we collectively continue to explore these incredible historical enigmas. What other secrets do you think lie buried, waiting to be rediscovered and understood? Join our growing community of fellow history enthusiasts. Subscribe for more fascinating content that delves into the unexplored corners of our past, and together, let us keep the spirit of discovery and wonder alive. Let the pursuit of forgotten wisdom be an ongoing journey for us.